All right, people, I guess our old friend here, Hasan Piker, is once again doing his best to lie about and smear his enemies, namely liberals. He's always punching towards the center. He's never punching right. He's always attacking liberals, okay? That's all this guy does, okay? This time it's Hutch, once again, that is being smeared by Mr. Piker, all right? If you enjoy the content, please consider liking and subscribing. It's the best way you can help out the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Let's jump right in.
Folks, my name is Hutch. I make videos and put them on the internet. When it rains, it pours with Hasan Piker. I'm a little self-conscious of the fact that we've been covering him quite a bit on the channel in the last couple weeks, but he is all over the news right now. And on top of that, he did a little segment on his stream calling me out, and so I felt like it was appropriate to react to that. There's one particular moment in this cut that feels a little jarring because there was an audio issue with the VOD. It's not that bad, but I just want to explain that. In this video, Hasan attacks me for, what he claims is me going back on a strategy of blue no matter who. He reacts to a clip that was posted by truly like one of the most pathetic accounts on Twitter. That guy is fully deranged. Hasan knows this and still amplifies that guy's tweets and posts. And yeah, in the clip, I think I very clearly explain that I'm not talking about abandoning blue no matter who. That's still my personal philosophy. I will always adhere to.
Fuck that shit. All right? Fuck that shit. I do not agree. I think in certain cases, you can justify voting for these far left candidates, these commie fucks, but not in all. And that includes the race that just concluded last night with Francesca Hong, who lost to Dave Crowley after he ran a 2-week campaign because they had the moderates had no one else to challenge her. She was favored by 25 plus points in all the polls, and she fucking lost because America does not want socialism. So get the fuck out of here. All right? Get out of here with that shit. Nobody wants it. Okay?
To the harm reduction principle, and as much as I dislike a lot of these DSA candidates, I would never take any action that could help a Republican win an election, basically in any seat of government across the country. I have my own personal reasons for that, but that's just where I'm at. I explain it more in this video. I hope you guys stick around to watch. It's a doozy. If you guys enjoy the video, click like. If you guys enjoy the channel, click subscribe, and maybe even hit the bell notification. Okay. I have not seen this full clip yet. Let's go.
Listen to the man. Press it.
Yeah, this is a funny moment. Hutch changes his mind about blue no matter who.
Jake Chinatown, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most sad, pathetic accounts. Wow, this guy has completely lost it.
Oh, yeah.
He is just the worst, man.
He really
is the worst.
Oh, yeah.
This guy has his little attack dogs. I'm almost ready to say, you know what? I'm not even going to, the blue no matter who rhetoric, I'm not doing it anymore. Because it feels like unilateral disarmament, doesn't it?
And that's exactly what it is. If the moderates commit to blue no matter who, after the leftists couldn't even do it for a decision as easy and straightforward as Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris, are you fucking kidding me? Hell no. Go fuck yourself, buddy.
First of all, how much of that particular term is helping the discourse? I have never in all my years on the internet ever once witnessed a productive exchange about the concept of
blue, but it matters who. Root for DSA to lose. Wow.
Well, here's the thing, though. I would still say I'm blue no matter who as well. I would just say that commies are not blue. People who align with terrorist supporters, people who cheerlead live on their twitch.tv, Amazon-owned Twitch stream with full consent and protection, institutional protection from the Twitch CEO. They're sitting there watching terrorist attacks live on their stream and cheering it on. Anti-Western terrorist attacks. Okay, that's not a Democrat, so that doesn't really conflict with the blue no matter who principle, frankly.
Oh.
Okay. Apparently I need to unpack what I said again. I mean, I feel like I was pretty specific even in that clip. I said the blue no matter who rhetoric. I was very particular. There's a reason why I said the blue no matter who rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
So before we even watch this full clip, let me just clarify once again what I meant.
Go ahead.
Which I don't know if these people are like too stupid to understand what I'm saying. In Hasan's case, I hesitate. I think he's just super dishonest. The clipper, I think was
Hasan is always completely full of shit. He obviously understands the Hutch's point because he obsessively watches all of these creators' streams, content, and every video they upload and every tweet they post. Okay, that's what he spends all of his time doing. So he's fully aware of Hutch's position on this. He's going to intentionally misunderstand and mischaracterize his position in order to make him seem insane to his audience, because that's his goal. It's not actually addressing the point that's being made. It's just mischaracterizing your enemies. That's his strategy. That's his modus operandi, so to speak.
Was being wildly dishonest, because in the full clip of this, and I could go back and find the timestamp. I'm too lazy to do that right now. I specifically say, like, right after I do my rant, I specifically say, I'm still going to vote blue no matter who, and I'm still going to, like, suggest to you guys that I do it. All I'm saying is, like, I'm not going to hold them to the standard.
Yeah.
When I see lefties,
they're not going to fucking do it. Now, I don't agree with Hutch necessarily, and we'll get into that in this video, but yeah, it's a waste of time engaging in this conversation, because when it comes down to it, they failed. Right? They couldn't get in line to support Kamala fucking Harris over Donald Trump when they pretend that they care about Palestinian children, and Kamala Harris was obviously the better choice, if that's what your single issue was, right? They were just looking for a reason to not vote for Democrats. They were looking for a justification, an excuse. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about dead Palestinian children. They could not care less. So to pretend that this blue no matter who thing is a two-way street, get the fuck out of here.
I replies like, you know, in 2028, when Kamala inevitably like wins the nomination, or some, I don't know, someone that they consider a establishment Zionist shill or whatever, and they start playing their stupid games again, which they will do. I promise you, they will do it. They will do it again.
No chance they vote for the Democratic nominee, and or at least no chance that the pundits like Hasan and Crystal Ball and all these ghouls, no chance they endorse the Democratic presidential nominee in 2028 unless it's AOC. That's the only way they would maybe do it. And even then, they really don't like AOC that much, because she capitulates to liberals, because she actually has a brain and understands like how to be an effective politician. So like the idea that these people would get in line if Kamala Harris won the nomination again in 2028, give me a fucking break. I don't think they'd support Gavin Newsom. I mean, Hasan has said as much explicitly in interviews. I don't think they would support John Ossoff, because he's way more moderate. I know that they pretend to be favorable about Ossoff and Tallarico and these people right now, but the reality is they would not get behind these people, because they're dyed-in-the-wool liberals. They're blue liberals, okay? And these people are red fascists. So they would not fall in line. That is delusional.
I'm going to tell them, great. I don't care. Do your thing.
That's fair.
I don't care. You know, that's what I'm saying.
They're not on our side. Don't waste your time.
Conscious. You need to be able to sleep soundly at night, fun. Knowing that you didn't vote for a corporatist Zionist shill. Okay, good for you. I'm not gonna get into those like exchanges with those people in that way anymore.
That's
what I'm
fair.
telling you, Hasan Piker, if you ever watch this clip, you're free.
Hasan would never watch a fucking follow-up. He would never let you clarify your position. What's the point of smearing you if he's going to let you clarify it, bro? I mean, maybe he'll watch it in his free time to be more aware of the people he's smearing, but he'll never watch this shit on his stream. Come on, Hutch, quit dreaming.
I am unburdening you from any expectation that you are, you know, going to support the Dem nominee in 2028. And furthermore, I don't care. That is what I'm saying.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
We'll either figure out a way to beat the Republican without you.
Yep.
Or we won't, and we'll get 4 years advance, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
That's fine. At least the battle lines are being clearly drawn now, and these insurgent fucking pigs cannot pretend to be on our side any longer. Thank God. Thank God.
But that's what I'm saying. And I mean, and I'm definitely not going to jump on any dog pile. when I see these who have never, ever adhered to the harm reduction principle and blue no matter who, when I see like Kyle Kulinski lecturing liberals about Abdul El-Sayed or whoever else,
oh my God, Kyle Kulinski, who, by the way, at this point now, I'm comfortable saying is just an outright neo-Nazi. This dude is posting straight up Nazi propaganda on Twitter. Just straight up Nazi propaganda. The most anti-Semitic shit I've ever... Even the actual neo-Nazis are not this outwardly anti-Semitic. It's fucking crazy. These people are crazy.
It makes me want to vomit.
Yep.
It makes me want to vomit. And so I like, not only am I not going to hold Hasan and any other lefty that wants to play stupid games again in 2028 to the standard, or try to impose that standard, or try to even pitch that standard. Not only am I not going to do that, I'm not going to attack any like liberals on Twitter.
Nope.
If they're on Twitter saying like, you know, El-Sayed, he's got to earn my vote, I'm not going to criticize that.
That's me. I'm that liberal. Thank you, Hutch.
I'm not going to join Kyle Kulinski in a disingenuous attack. They're baiting you. They think you're stupid. They think you are morons.
Yep.
They're baiting you. So just like, don't fall for the bait. I just like if I see
unilateral disarmament is the most suicidal policy that you can operate by. And it infuriates me to see other liberals doing it. You are such a fucking fool. You are being taken for a fool. You're being conned. You're being played. You're a sucker. Like, grow a fucking spine, people.
The other libs doing it. I don't care. Do your thing. You know? That's what I'm saying.
That's so strange. That's so strange, dude.
Not really.
That's such a strange phenomenon. Turns out this guy is just like, ideologically a neoliberal. I was wrong about this. I didn't realize that he was. The guy who said he would rather vote for Jeffrey Epstein instead of me is now saying it's not vote blue no matter who.
I mean, really, it comes down to Jeffrey Epstein's policy positions, right? You can't just say like, you can't just say he would vote for Jeff. I mean, no, we need to know, is Jeffrey Epstein going to try and sell out our country's secrets to China? Is Jeffrey Epstein going to invade Israel with the U.S. military like Hasan obviously would if he was in power? Is Jeffrey Epstein going to let China invade Taiwan and do nothing? Like, what? These are all important questions, okay? Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, bad guy. Don't get me wrong, terrible. Not a fan at all. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the policy positions, okay? That's more important in this scenario because Hasan wants to see the destruction of this country. That's why he is working on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party to be an insurgent and to hurt the Democrats and help Republicans win elections because he's an accelerationist. So, like, at the end of the day, if Jeffrey Epstein, for all his many grievous faults, don't get me wrong, I said, not a fan of the guy, but for all of his faults, if his policies are going to be like, center-left policies that are reasonable, pro-capitalist, not trying to destroy the country on behalf of China or Russia, then I mean, like, fuck, I guess I gotta be an Epstein voter in that case. Yeah, it's the easiest choice in the world, though, if I'm being honest. I mean, like, it's a hard bullet to bite, rhetorically, because people are like, oh my God, Jeffrey Epstein. Like, at the end of the day, fuck, man. I mean, if the alternative is a Chinese spy, then yeah, I guess Epstein wins.
To be fair, I think I asked clarification. What are Jeffrey Epstein's, what's his domestic policy platform?
Exactly.
What's his foreign policy platform? I think that's a fair question.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new Destiny meta. Root for Abdul and Fran to lose. Oh my God. Why did these guys literally position themselves on the losing side of every issue? This is what.
Well, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but Francesca Hong was the losing side of that issue, and that's on you and your little gremlin friend, Mike from PA. Okay, I mean, like, I would never ever vote for Francesca Hong simply by virtue of the fact that she went on fucking Mike from PA's shitty show twice, I think, multiple times or something, right? Mike from PA, this guy, This guy who constantly is calling for death threats. Here's him saying, "How long before it happens you think?" Obviously referring to Destiny getting fucking murdered. Here's a clip of him.
Well, okay. Well, we brought the white.
It's called shock, you fucking idiot. It's called shock. Anything that happens, I mean, like, holy shit, guys. If you live in Florida, I have an opportunity for you. If you want to earn $100,000, let me know.
$100,000.
Okay. Well, we brought the
It's
white.
called shock, you fucking idiot.
Saying he would pay $100,000 if someone murdered Destiny. Like, here again, by the way. Okay. And then look who it is. Francesca Hong on this fat fuck's fucking show. So, rip. This candidate is dead to me, brother. Go fuck yourself. I would rather fucking vote for a MAGA Republican at this point. Sorry. No. And the fact that she also went on Hasan's show and, Hasan Piker, the guy who, again, actively cheerleads on twitch.tv, by the way, a platform primarily aimed at children, cheerleads live terrorist attacks. That guy. So, I mean, like, what the fuck are we doing? But at the end of the day, I mean, we saw what happens. These are the chances. Now, I'd take Polymarket with a grain of salt, right? Because they had Francesca Hong at 95% victory, and she fucking lost. But this is the current odds. Wisconsin governor election winner, Democrat or Republican. Democrats were trailing for months and months, as people believed falsely, due to false, likely manipulated polls saying Francesca Hong was leading by 25 plus points in the polls. Just ended up not being fucking true, just like in Michigan, where everyone thought El-Sayed was going to win by 12, 15, 18 points over Haley Stevens, and he won by 1 point. So they had a Republican winning the governorship because they all thought Hong's going to win the primary, and then a Republican's going to beat her because she's an unwinnable fucking candidate. She hates the United States. She wants to abolish Thanksgiving. Good luck selling that to the American people, right? She's a DSA candidate. And then she lost. She lost last night. Dave Crowley, the moderate. And all of a sudden, look at these odds now. 78% Democrat. The DSA are a fucking cancer on the party. It couldn't be more obvious at this point, frankly. So.
These dumb, lazy, dishonest.
Yep.
Swear to God.
You say it, Hutch. They're fucking pigs. They're pigs. Say it.
I have never indicated ever once that I would favor the Republican in a general contest versus Abdul El-Sayed or even the most extreme DSA candidate or DSA aligned candidate. Never. Ever.
I would not judge someone for not voting for El-Sayed at the current moment. If I lived in Michigan, I would not until he fully disavows it, not in the dishonest bullshit way he did the other day, where he said, Mr. Piker has disavowed his comments about 9/11. First of all, who gives a fuck about those comments? Second of all, no, he didn't. You're lying. He never disavowed those comments. He blamed English as his second language. Okay. And thirdly, he needs to do a broad disavowal of him as a person, his active encouragement and incitement of directed harassment campaigns against his enemies, his cheerleading of terrorist attacks on twitch.tv, with the protection of the CEO, Dan Clancy. Like, until these things happen, sorry, you haven't earned my vote. And he also needs to condemn the genocide of Ukrainians, which actually El-Sayed has already done. That more applies to the other DSA lefty candidates. And he needs to condemn the genocide of the Uyghur Muslims. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I think El-Sayed is a good candidate. I don't know if he's good enough to beat Republican. I think he would have had a better chance if he had never aligned himself with Hamas Piker. But now that he has, I mean, we'll see later. The attack ads are vicious against El-Sayed coming from the Mike Rogers campaign. And that's his own fault for aligning himself with someone so caustic and so odious as Hasan Piker is in the media. So, well, if El-Sayed, disavows Hasan, then I'll throw my full support behind him, digitally, because I don't fucking live there. But I would encourage others who do live there to take a similar approach. Hutch isn't taking this approach, and that's fine. I don't judge him for that either. It's more pragmatic. The Senate's important, but honestly, I think it's just better for the Democrats long term if we stamp out this lefty rot cancer that's infesting the party on the far left fringes, because if El-Sayed loses, that could cost Democrats control of the fucking Senate. And at that point, the moderate Democrats are actually going to start cracking down on this leftist cancer. So
nice things to say about Abdul El-Sayed. I think I've said, even on occasion in the last few weeks, that he's one of the I have some issues with some of his rhetoric. I'm sure we probably have some policy disagreements. Overall, though, I don't know. He doesn't get under my skin in the same way that some of these other crazy people do. So he's probably the least problematic. I've also said, he's probably still favored to win. I mean, the polls right now have Rogers consistently up 1 or 2 points against El-Sayed, but I think Donald Trump is so unpopular, and Abdul El-Sayed is skilled enough, I think, as a politician to win that race. And I just think in this climate,
I just hope he disavows Hasan, because I would love to support him. And I would love to, be in the trenches for him like I am for the candidates I do support. So I would love to do it. Hopefully he makes the right choice and distances himself from that commie fucking pig. We'll see.
I'm not overly worried about Michigan. I have some compliments about Abdul El-Sayed, and that it's not false flattery. I mean, I do mean it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get so he does these little segments, and then I get literally hundreds of his idiot viewers that chirp in my replies like little parrots. These brainless little weasels.
Yep,
it's already happening
stupid.
Literally in the last couple days.
They are they are as stupid as the Asmongold fans that I get on half my videos. They are that fucking dumb, where they can't spell. They're saying they're spelling lose with 2 O's. They're saying you're you are, but they're saying YOUR. They're using the wrong fucking, they're just morons, right? And this is what you get out of populism, is dipshits. So that's why you see the Asmongold fans, the magatards, and that's why you get the fucking commie dogs all acting the fucking same across the board. Horseshoe theory is real, by the way. It's fucking real.
Bro, why are you always on the losing side, bro? Which is pretty amazing coming from these people. Their whole political movement is marked by just
complete failure for decades across the board, failure after failure after failure. And yet somehow they get away with presenting this narrative that it's the moderate Dems, the establishment Dems, who are failing and who are impotent and who lose. And it's bro, you guys have 4 seats in Congress? 4? Maybe? Come on, let's get serious. The adults need to enter the fucking room at some point, right?
Abject failure.
Yep.
They're just amazing coming from these people. Their whole political movement is marked by just abject failure.
Across the board.
They're just permanently out of any real power in this country, and they're always lose, bro. But I'm not even rooting against Abdul. I support Abdul. I will donate to Abdul. I will encourage my viewers to
I'm gonna need that disavowal first.
Vote for Abdul. If I lived in Michigan, I would vote for Abdul El-Sayed over Rogers in a heartbeat. It would not be a difficult decision. I would skip and dance all the way to the ballot box. It wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't bitch and moan about it. It would just be such an obvious decision. And what does he do? He sees a clip from Jake Chinatown, who, again, I cannot stress enough, Jake Chinatown. If you have done any, you're familiar with this guy's lore, he is just one of the most pathetic losers on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that as literally as I can possibly say something.
Oh, yeah. Here's a fun retweet from him. I didn't feel like digging through because it's just so blackpilling to know human beings this pathetic exist, frankly. But this is just one. This is a tweet about Ethan and Gila Klein, right? And then this guy quote tweets it, whoever this loser is. I'd love to, I don't even want to read it out loud. Swing their blank by the legs into an oak tree over and over again. And this is this Jake Chinatown dude, the same dude who made this, clip of Hutch and posted it on Twitter attacking him. That's this guy. So just in case you're wondering, with the the moral character of the people we're dealing with here, these fucking pigs. Well, there you go.
On top of being very crazy. But, he pulls this clip up on his stream and he's like, oh, he wants Abdul. And it's just like hundreds of his idiot viewers come in my mentions accusing me of shit that I never did,
Yep.
And then he has the balls to complain about being mischaracterized by Fox News or right-wing ads that are airing in Michigan right now. It's like, you made that bed, bro. You live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Oh, yeah.
What happens when it's
they want rules for thee, not for me. The old classic. All these fucking extremist dogs, whether it's MAGA, whether it's these commies, they all want it. They all want to operate by a different rule set than everyone else. And I'm of the opinion that fuck that shit. We should operate the same way they do until they realize, oh, maybe this game isn't so fun. Maybe this isn't so fun and we should chill the fuck out.
just like personal spite and resentment are what drive your politics. It's crazy because this is Hasan derangement syndrome through and through.
Construct a straw man of a position.
I do have Hasan derangement syndrome. I want to hate him more.
That I never took. Attack that straw man and then make it about yourself. Like, this guy is one of the most malignant narcissists.
Oh, yeah.
On the entire internet.
It's deranged.
That's crazy. Like,
yeah.
Literally construct a straw man, make an argument that I never made, that I don't support Abdul El-Sayed, that I have given up on blue no matter who, and I'm gonna like oppose, like left.
Oh, well, I'm fine. I've given up on that. Fuck that shit. I would never vote for a commie at this point. The reason I would say I would consider supporting El-Sayed is because he's not a commie, but he's still aligning himself with them, which is just one step removed at that point. So,
bro, I live in Los Angeles County. Okay. Every election cycle, probably like a third of the Democrats on my ballot that are in the general versus a Republican are to my left. I have never complained about it. I have never bitched and moaned about it. And I've also never hesitated to vote straight ticket Democrat. That's not something that I'm conflicted about. I have always, my entire life.
To be clear, just to clarify, I would never vote for a Republican. Even at gunpoint, I would not. But I would abstain. And like I said this in my last video, okay? If it comes down to it, where I have to choose between a communist and a fascist, which are essentially the same, they just wear different clothes, and one of them pretends to have a lot more moral authority than they actually do. If it comes down to that, then I'm just getting the fuck out. I'm leaving the country as soon as possible before the borders get closed down.
Life on every ballot I've ever filled out, I have voted straight ticket Democrat. Every single election, every single candidate that I've supported, hundreds by now, I have voted straight ticket Democrat. I have never felt the urge to complain here I go, I got to vote for this lefty again. It's just an obvious decision because I'm a grown-up who came of age during the Bush administration and just saw the worst consequences of enabling Republicans to win elections. This guy, he's pushing 50, right? Hasan, he's pushing 50 at this point, right? He still hasn't figured that out. He's still playing these games on CNN. I don't know if I'm going to vote for the Democrat in 2028. And then they turn around and then they're like, oh, typical liberals. Typical liberals. They want to tank all my preferred candidates because they don't like me. Bro, you are such a narcissist.
He sure is.
I don't understand how your audience falls for this shit, bro.
I shit you not. Last week when El-Sayed won the primary, Hasan said that he had changed the course of history. I wish I was joking. Hasan Piker said, we've changed the course of history here, folks, with a Twitch stream. Oh my God, the level of self-importance on this guy is crazy. It's crazy. If anything, and I had this thought this morning, actually, after Hong lost. My thought was maybe this polling is accurate. Maybe El-Sayed was up by 18 points over Haley Stevens. Maybe Francesca Hong was up 25 points over Dave Crowley. maybe the polling is just accurate, but they're just not factoring in the fact that these candidates are directly associating themselves with Hasan Piker. And that's completely suppressing their turnout because people are like, oh, never fucking mind. Yeah, I'm not voting for that shit.
Bro, I just don't get it.
Joking, by the way.
I just don't get it. Someone explain.
Although that will happen in the general election because the Republicans are actually going to be blaring the klaxons on this dude's insane beliefs. I mean, it's already happening. You see it on Fox News. You see it in attack ads from Mike Rogers. Like, it's happening already. Don't worry.
That's me. My audience would not let me get away with the narcissistic bullshit that you pull, bro.
Yeah, he's so
you are
self-important.
lucky. I'd like that. Can you guys be that for me? I just want you guys to just be so undyingly loyal to everything I say and just take everything I say at face value and never question the things that I say. And
well, the reason Hasan's audience is like that is because he's crafted his audience to be like that by banning all dissent at all times and using his audience to bully other creators around him and tangential to him into never criticizing him as well. So it's a very curated, intentional environment. It's not just happenstance that his audience is a bunch of drones. He's spent years crafting that audience.
Just for one day, you know, I just want to know what that's like. Instead, I got you fuckos making fun of me for shitting my pants, which a lot of Americans do every year. Just saying.
But
okay, I don't know the lore on that one, Hutch.
What I find very odd about it isn't that it's just like online weirdos now. Now you got like party bosses, old bosses. I get D, but why does Hutch hate you? Because Hutch is basically the Destiny dick rider.
This guy, man. This guy just makes.
Oh, he must be part of the DGG cult. Someone cut me off in traffic. I think it's a DGGer.
Up a position that I don't have, and then says, you know why he feels that way? It's because he hates me, but also because he sucks Destiny's cock. God damn it. How do people fall for this, man?
That's why.
And it's funny, we're about to get into it, but this is projection. Because all of the other leftist, content creators and influencers and pundits and whatnot, they're all actually like insane ball glazers, nut huggers for Hasan. It's crazy. Kyle Kalinske, Crystal Ball, Cenk Uyghur, of course, is his uncle. Anna Kasparian, for some reason, is constantly running defense for this guy. They all do it constantly. And even liberals end up doing it. You know, like John Favreau from Pod Save America ends up doing it. The entire fucking New York Times is doing it. The Rolling Stone is doing it. So this is projection. Complete and total utter projection.
Blue no matter who. Every time it's ever come up in my experience, every time I've ever witnessed it come up in other spaces, it's always a shit show. And, you know, like, it's just, I can't stomach people like Kyle and Crystal weaponizing the concept of blue no matter who.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Weaponizing the concept of blue no matter who. So it's not, so you're doing.
Did I stutter?
He's spot on. Hutch is 100% correct because these people couldn't bring themselves to vote for Kamala over fucking Donald Trump. But now they want us to all fall in line and unify behind their candidates. Actually, fucking Minecraft, bro. Roblox yourself, buddy.
The incredulity in his voice. Did I stutter? That's what they're doing. Obviously. You don't do like blue no matter who. We're not a cult. They're not entitled to my vote. They got to earn my vote. I don't vote for war criminals. And blah, blah, blah. You don't do that for 15 years. And then, you know, Donald Trump is president for a year and all of a sudden you're lecturing liberals about blue no matter who.
Yes. Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy, Hutch. I'm going crazy over here. I'm going crazy. So much gaslighting. I can't handle it, man. I'm going to lose my fucking mind. Get these fucking people out of my party.
I need to explain why this is ridiculous. Any reasonable, normal person understands it's disingenuous bullshit. It's bait. And so I'm just not going to fall for it anymore, you know?
Don't waste your time.
To benefit their preferred candidates.
You missed the boat on blue no matter who, buddy. Sorry, Hasan. You guys missed the boat on that one. Should have supported Kamala more.
When these people were never about that life. And he knows I'm right. Like, he hears this, he hears me. Maybe he misunderstood what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe he actually believes that I'm giving up on blue no matter who, but like, he knows.
Oh, I've given up on it. I'm going case by case every time. When it comes to them being a progressive, if they use the label progressive, if they are part of the DSA, if they call themselves a leftist, I'm going case by case to see if they really do subscribe to all these things, which, grifter pundits they are buddying up with, all of it. I'm going case by case, okay? Because these commies are not blue. Commies aren't blue. So, I mean, like, I guess I haven't given up on the concept, but I mean, like, these people are wolves in sheep's clothing. They are not Democrats. They are not liberals, and they have to earn my vote, okay? Condemn the Uyghur genocide. Condemn the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Say you would support United States intervention if China were to invade Taiwan. Stop pushing Chinese propaganda about data centers. And then we can talk.
What I'm saying right now is 100% true. So I don't know if he's going to, I don't know how he's going to like navigate that. I assume at some point he's going to, in the near future, he's going to click off this video because you just can't deny the shit that I'm saying. It's just so self-evidently the case. This is what's happening. It's so disingenuous that I don't think it's productive to even like push it anymore. You know what I mean? That particular phrasing. I think it's about time we retire it and just be like, you know what? Let's just all stop pretending like this is something that's,
But this was the logical extent of vote blue no matter who.
Okay, I think he is. Never mind. I thought maybe it was just like dishonesty.
Extent of.
Let's just all stop pretending like this is something that's,
But this was the logical extent of vote blue no matter who.
Okay, I think he is. Never mind.
Oh. He's actually just a fucking idiot. Oh no, Hasan. Oh no.
I thought maybe it was just like dishonesty because he's just so relentlessly dishonest all the time. He's genuinely like actually stupid. I think I clarified like decently well in that clip.
It's so funny because he's trying to be like this like light Yagami character Hasan is, where he's trying to like maneuver all these political landscapes and perfectly, manipulate everything to his favor and work everything out while being the most like morally reprehensible person that's ever walked the fucking face of the earth. Not literally, of course, but like in terms of the streaming world, absolutely. Other than, like these streamers that murder someone, I guess. I mean, like maybe it's coming. We'll see. But like he's trying to do all this light Yagami bullshit. But at the end of the day, he's just not smart enough to pull it all off, right? I mean, like it's working so far, I guess. I guess you just really have to target the low IQ, population, or just young people. I mean, he's kind of predatory in that way, where he's targeting all these young people and trying to fuck with their heads. So,
like what I'm saying.
So I guess he's still consistent on that.
We're talking about a guy who you think Hasan is worse than Jeffrey Epstein. That's what it shows you, Hutch. That's what it shows.
This is by the way, I remember this conversation. This is a total fucking straw man from what Pisco's saying here is a straw man, because that's not what Hutch is saying. Hutch is saying I need to know his policy platform, but there is a world where I would vote for him over Hasan, because I know Hasan's policy platform is to bring about the fucking accelerated destruction of the United States. So if Jeffrey Epstein's policy platform would not be that, then yeah, it's an easy choice. It's not even close. It's not even remotely close.
What?
Dude, you don't.
Wait, reanimated Epstein versus Vance? How is it not reasonable to ask for reanimated Epstein's policy platform? I don't know. I have to think about that. Vance would be pretty bad, right? Like, Vance calls himself a post-liberal. You know what I mean? Like, of course I would Jesus Christ.
And by the way, that post-liberal label that Vance uses, I hate it, because the reality is that he's pre-liberal. He's pre-enlightenment. That's what he wants. He wants us to go back to the fucking dark ages where women are treated as chattel. Like, that's what he wants. He's not post-liberal. He's pre-liberal. We already tried this shit. It fucking sucked. The inequity was immense. It was bad. It didn't lead to progression. It didn't lead to industrialization. It was just bad. So
I don't love those options, you know.
That's a fair question, isn't it? Isn't that relevant to the analysis?
Like even his audience is like Hutch, Epstein, children, you moron.
So did you. Don't ask Hasan the age of this child sex slave at the German brothel he patronized, by the way.
Like that's what one of his chatters was.
I blame Twitch. That was probably one of you Twitch fuckos. Who said it? Which one?
Saying at that point, like,
I don't know anything about Jeffrey.
Like, he doesn't understand that I find it just doesn't compute with him because, you know, obviously he doesn't share the perspective, but like, I find the prospect enabling a Republican administration or Republican control of either or both chambers of Congress so, we'll just say bad, that I would be willing to entertain like all kinds of crazy compromises to make sure that, you know, I don't contribute to.
Yeah, I've said this before. I would have rather we just had a vacancy for the presidency for 4 more years than have Donald Trump get a second term. Like, yeah, you would entertain all kinds of crazy shit next to Republicans, for sure. But I would also entertain all kinds of crazy shit next to fucking communists because they're illiberal. They're both like fascists and commies are two sides of the same illiberal, populist, repressive, oppressive coin. That's what they are.
Helping a Republican win. I mean, I think that they are that bad. I think they are that bad. And I think I have very good reasons to feel this way. Again, I became politically conscious right like 9/11.
I would have voted for a fucking sack of potatoes before you caught me dead voting for Donald Trump. But I would say the same about Mao Zedong. I would say the same about Joseph Stalin and Vladimir Lenin and Karl Marx and Hasan Piker. I would say the same goddamn thing. I would rather have nobody. I would rather we have a vacancy. I would rather we have Jeffrey Epstein. Like, yes, absolutely. Without a fucking second thought.
And then boom. Like that was the start of my process of becoming like politically aware. And so I have just watched the Republican Party in the 21st century descend into just actual, just like madness and borderline fascism, which is a word that I don't take lightly. Like when I say that word, I mean like the actual definition of the word. And
by the way, if you go read the characteristics of fascism, the Trump admin matches every single one, other than the like religious element, but that's still there. It's just not in Trump, right? Because I don't think Trump is ideologically a fascist. I think Trump is ideologically a narcissist, literally, as in like he only is acting out of self-interest at all times, not out of some greater, not out of service, like not in service to some greater ideology. I don't think he has the mental capacity to even act in such a way. I think he purely acts out of self-interest at all times. But someone like JD Vance, on the other hand, is a bona fide fascist. He adheres to fascist principles. He believes in the ideology. So
because of that, you know, if you give me like your choices blank or Republican, especially someone like Vance, I would be willing to entertain, you know, like Sam Harris one time said, if Hunter Biden ran for president and we found out that the QAnon stuff was true and he was literally like sucking adrenochrome out of like the kids or whatever,
easy choice.
He would vote for Hunter Biden
over Trump,
over a Republican, or over Donald Trump. Yep. And I saw that clip from him
any day of the fucking week, baby. Not even close. Like, yeah, of course.
And, you know, I was like, that's bold to bite that bullet. And I've also never identified so fiercely with a clip ever in my life, because
it's real
so
shit.
Much of being a liberal during the Trump era has been this feeling of like, hello, does anyone see what the, you know, like, it's just this feeling.
And it's happening all over again, by the way, with these commies and all these liberals around us now are gaslighting us and telling us they're not a big deal. We don't need to worry. Just close your eyes, work with the commie fucking pigs, work with them. They're not a big deal. They're just a part of the coalition. We're a big tent party. No, they're not Democrats. They're not liberals. They're not in the tent. And I will not be in any coalition with these people who literally just want to see the West fall, by the way, with people who are buddy and, you know, rubbing shoulders with people like Hasan Piker, who again, advocate for terrorist attacks against the United States and celebrates them on a platform aimed at children. Like, no, not happening.
Of like the movie Don't Look Up, you know, there's a giant asteroid coming at Earth.
People say that movie was too obvious, too on the nose with the point it was trying to make. I don't even think so. I think that the reality we're living in is right fucking there. I don't think it was on the nose at all. I think it was just an accurate reflection of what's happening.
So much. And it's like with that attitude I have with people like Hasan, because it's like, how the do you not see? How the do you not understand how big the stakes are right now?
He understands, he just doesn't give a fuck because his goal is not to make the country a better place for the people who live in it. That's not his goal. His goal is to work at the behest of the United States' enemies, whether that be China or Russia or Iran or Cuba or North Korea, apparently a bunch of the time. That's like his actual goal, not to make the United States a better place to fucking live for the people who live here. Come on.
How is it possible that someone with a college education?
By the way, he was put on academic probation because he was drinking a little too much. So
was seemingly like an intelligent person or capable of intelligent thought. How is it that he doesn't, at this point, he still doesn't get it?
Because he's malicious.
They just don't get it. They don't get it.
Oh, they
That's
get it. Fuck. They get it.
How big the stakes are right now. How is it possible that someone with a college education who is seemingly like an intelligent person or capable of intelligent thought, how is it that he doesn't, at this point, he still doesn't?
He's good at parroting other people. Like his handler, that Eric Hovagin dude, the guy who produces all of his interviews and is a blatant CCP connected Chinese propagandist. That guy who's his little handler, that dude, very intelligent, probably. It would be my assumption because he's much better at being a propagandist for the CCP than Hasan himself is. Hasan's way too, speaking of on the nose, Mr. Piker showing up doing speeches in a fucking Mao Zedong suit. Bro. Come on. We have to thank our lucky stars. See, look, people say this all the time, right? We should be thankful that Donald Trump came along and was the one to exploit all of these norms and completely violate every norm and every law and just show that the president can actually just do whatever the fuck they want as long as they have support, right? We should thank our lucky stars every single day that Donald Trump is such a fucking moron and that he's so incapable of taking advantage of all of these things that he tries to do, right? We should be thankful because he's operating as a great stress test for democracy right now. And if Democrats are able to, get back power, grow spines and whatnot, maybe we can patch all these things up and be stronger for it. And we should feel the same goddamn way about Hasan Piker being the face of the far left socialist communist movement in the United States right now, at least in the media, right? Because this dude is a fucking idiot. He is so fucking bad. I mean, like, he's not completely like brain dead, right? He's like probably like 95 IQ, but like he's not doing a good job in his position. And he's taken a gamble on his entire movement here with El-Sayed. Because again, if leftists cost Democrats the control of the fucking Senate in November, that is going to destroy all of the momentum this movement has. And I think Hutch said it. He might set his movement back 10 fucking years. 10 years. Because and that's not a gamble he should be in a position to make, right? This is a crazy fucking gamble because he's just bad at being the face of this movement. So thank God for Trump and Hasan for stress testing all these things and making liberals just so much stronger for it. Hopefully, rage if we get through all this bullshit at the end of the day, right? I mean, we have to do that first, but
get it. They just don't get it. They don't get it. That's the charitable explanation. The more accurate or more likely to be true explanation that I suspect is true, he's just an accelerationist, like he wanted Donald Trump to win. Because look, they can get 4 DSA people elected to the Congress instead of 2. So it was worth it to help elect Donald Trump again. That's what I think. He's just like a not so subtle accelerationist.
Yep.
The conversation he had with Mockler and Mockler asked him, like, what, you know, do you think it would be easier or harder for you to accomplish your goals if a Republican wins? Without hesitation, Hasan goes, oh no, there's no question it's easier when a Republican wins. So he knows.
And he's correct. But gets back to what I was just saying. He's an idiot for saying the quiet part out loud, but he is correct. So like his analysis is correct, but his strategic maneuvering is fucking terrible. Like a good majority of the time. Because like, right, like, yes, the leftists benefit greatly from Trump being in power because people look at what's happening with the Trump administration with ICE assassinating, you know, white American women in the street. Oh my God. And then, yeah, people are more open to more radical alternatives on the other side. So that directly benefits the DSA. When you had Joe Biden in power, the DSA was fucking dead. The leftist movement was completely kneecapped because you had, a capable leadership and cabinet and administration in power, leading the country in a positive direction when Joe Biden was president. When Trump's president, it's all hell breaks loose. It's chaos and people are more open to radical ideas on the opposite end of the spectrum. So yes, his analysis is correct there, but the fact that he's willing to say that out loud in a conversation with Adam Mockler is fucking hilarious because it just shows that he is not strategically minded like that. That's why he's getting coaching now from that Eric Hovigem dude, because he was not doing a good job acting on his own, impulses in that direction.
Like he knows that groups like DSA and the pitch of like leftists and socialists is a lot easier when a Republican's in office hurting people and shut up. And he just doesn't care about them. He just doesn't.
Nope.
When the I've Had It lady, Jennifer, asked him, like, brought up the topic of like queer people, marginalized people in red states that are having their rights stripped and literally being discriminated against.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't care.
Nope. Doesn't give a fuck.
He was like, no, that doesn't sway me. That's emotional blackmail. He called that emotion. Libs do that thing where they say, you know what, if a Republican wins, life's going to get pretty difficult for trans people in this state or in this country if a Republican wins. He said, don't you think that that's emotional blackmail? And that moron Jennifer was like, you know what, now that you mention it, he doesn't care. Doesn't give. Even gonna like touch that, by the way? Hang on. I'm just curious.
Yeah, the emotional blackmail thing is especially funny because it awoke a memory in my brain from a few months ago when I did a video, regrettably glazing up Kyle Kulinski. Because at the time I didn't know, that he was just gonna, or maybe he was already at that time, but I didn't know he was just a straight up neo-Nazi or was going to become one, whatever the case may be. And two, I didn't know that leftists were actually going to start making moves trying to destroy my party. Obviously they wanted to, but they were mostly all yap back then. So I regret making this video glazing him up. But at the same time, he was still correct in this video because he was criticizing Asmongold. So like there are levels to this shit. But in this video, Asmongold is defending USAID and Elon Musk, or not defending USAID, excuse me. Defending Elon Musk raping and pillaging USAID, rather, and cuts to cancer research for children.
Oh, but it's for cancer kids. Okay, great emotional argument. We love that. It's
not an emotional argument, and he's giving the emotional argument because he's not actually giving any facts. He's just saying, "Oh, okay," and like what?
Shut up. Sounds.
Anything is possible. So?
Optics? Yeah, it's just optic. It's just the way that it sounds. Because the idea of, oh my God, he's cutting research for cancer kids. Oh no, that sounds bad.
Yeah, but I bet every time Trump wheels out one of those disabled kids who have been brainwashed into being a hardcore Trump supporter, even though they're 8 years old because their parents are Trump supporters, I bet he fucking like soys out at that shit. True, based. Point being, reason I explained all that and showed that is to just show, once again, as I titled in an earlier video, I forget the exact title, Asmongold and Hasan are two sides of the same sloppy-list, brain-dead coin. So, don't be fooled by these fucking people. They are scamming you out of personal self-interest and nothing more. No principles, no guiding, vision, nothing. They are completely acting out of self-interest, just like Trump. So
I'm crazy for being worried about
help China invade Taiwan. Like I'm gonna swim over there, over the strait, dude. What the? What could he possibly mean? Whoa, like I'm gonna like swim over there.
No, you're not going to defend them militarily. They will tell you, like Xi Jinping will call you and be like, we're going to invade Taiwan tomorrow. And you're going to be like, go nuts.
Yep.
We're not going to do shit. In fact, it's based if you do that because, you know, that's where the nationalists and, you know, like authoritarian fascists went, you know, in the Chinese Civil War. And, you know, that's your territory. It's yours. You know, like he does this stupid bullshit. I don't know. How do people fall for this? What am I going to swim over there and help them?
they fall for it because they've spent years being inoculated by this guy.
Obviously, I mean, you would not have any commitment to...
That's why Hasan does the thing where he masks up as, oh, I'm just a progressive Democrat. I'm just I'm just a more left-leaning liberal who just really cares about healthcare. And he used to virtue signal a bunch about, you know, minority rights and trans rights and gay rights and all these things that he doesn't actually give a fuck about at all. But the reason why he did that was to lure in normal progressive people and slowly inoculate them with this Marxist dog shit propaganda and fill their brain with poison and make them hate the United States and think that the country is just a total shithole and everything is completely fucked without ever actually having any criticism for any of its enemies or adversaries geopolitically, and just blaming everything on Israel and the capital class, the Epstein class, and the data centers that are trying to poison your water, and the Jews and Benjamin Netanyahu. Like, that's how it works. It's over time they get inoculated with this garbage that fills up their brains.
Defending Taiwan, as has been the American posture and official foreign policy for a long time now. Joe Biden literally said, I wouldn't rule out boots on the ground, you know,
Based.
like that's been our official foreign policy. And so, you know what I'm saying. And he would not deny that. Like, if you really pressed him on that and said, if you were president and China said, you know, literally started to invade Taiwan or signaled that they were going to do that, would you commit to defending them? He would never deny. Of course, he's going to say like, no, I'm for peace, bro. Not my problem.
Right.
Is what he would do. Wouldn't you rather spend that money on schools? You know, he would do that bullshit. Oh, you think I'm a warmonger? Wouldn't you rather spend that money on disabled veterans?
Which, by the way, is an emotional argument.
Wouldn't you rather build schools, not bombs? He would do that shit, you know, like.
Yep.
He knows I'm right. Obviously, he knows I'm right. So,
of course.
This is Hasan derangement syndrome through and through.
Our nation's secrets? If it's derangement syndrome, Hasan, if you ever watch this clip, okay? If it's derangement, listen, I'm open. It's possible. It's possible that I have Hasan derangement syndrome. You can clear that up for me right now.
It's not much like Trump. It's impossible to have Trump derangement syndrome, and it's impossible to have Hasan derangement syndrome because you should maximally hate these people. They're trying to destroy your country. If you're an American, anyways. If you're like a CCP, you know, high-ranking member of the Chinese Communist Party or Vladimir Putin, then yeah, you would love these people because they're destroying the United States from the inside. But if you're an American, you should absolutely hate these people, and you can't be deranged about it. There's no such thing as Hasan derangement syndrome. There's no such thing as Trump derangement syndrome.
If you were president and Xi Jinping called you and said, we plan to invade Taiwan next week, what would you do? Just answer that question. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, you know, like.
You're not wrong, Hutch, and I can answer that question for you. As a matter of fact, let's see what Hasan thinks about hostile, fascist-esque or outright fascist states imperialistically invading their neighbors. Here he is on Russia invading Crimea.
You call Crimea? I call it a part of Russian territory, bitch. That's what I call Crimea. I call it Crimea River, a Russian river. Russia's historic access into the Black Sea, Crimea, that's like historically fucking ethnically all Russian. You call Crimea?
Okay, well, that's Russia. That's different, right? Well, here's what he has to say about China invading Tibet.
Tibet was literally a fucking feudal slave mandate, like autonomous zone.
China did them a favor.
That was one. I mean, in America, when I say something like this, people get very upset. You know, we talk about the
I wonder why that is.
Dalai Lama saying "suck my tongue" or whatever, but like that's not far from the norm in fucking normal Tibetan existence before the Communist Party came in and
so China unilaterally took over Tibet.
Like
these are their culture. They basically are trying to, homogenize the culture.
If your culture,
they're trying to spoil the religion and the identity.
The part of feudal warlords and slavery, abolishing that. Yes, I do think that
they liberated them from their own savagery. Okay, Hasan.
That is good.
No, China did them a favor.
I think that yes, I will be on the record
just
to
like
say
America did it.
That while
Ethan was about to say, just like America did when they came here and they liberated the Native Americans from their own savagery. That's the unironic argument that Hasan is making about China invading Tibet. By the way,
Chinese government. Wait,
I'm not going to say it.
Well, there is no equivalent in American intervention that you can point to in a similar capacity, unless you're talking about.
Okay, so
and I think this is a good way to describe Taiwan as well. The American federal government.
Ooh, Taiwan, directly on the point we're covering here.
Going into the fucking South and killing as well. The American federal government going into the fucking South and killing, unfortunately not all of them, but a decent amount of slavers and defenders of slavery. This is violent retribution from a powerful federal government that squashed. Okay,
Tibet is the South in the Civil War.
Yes, Tibet in the time frame where Chinese intervention happened would be the South. Yes,
so
they were doing slavery.
What was the
they were
moral
feudal.
aspect of the war of China?
Bro.
The interests are obviously like national security or whatever the fuck they claim.
Okay. So there he is on Tibet and on Taiwan. Let's go to directly him describing Taiwan.
To the existence of the United States. It's like if Texas used to, like, the Confederate States used to rule America, okay, and they were pretty fucking brutal. And then there was like a Union Revolution. And then also a massive war.
That's what the CCP is. And this analogy, by the way, is the Union Revolution. And Taiwan is Texas in this scenario, just so we're clear.
On top of that, and massive massive war crimes that were occurring. And then the Confederate States of America just basically seceded and were able to have their own thing separately, and they still laid ownership. They still originally laid claim to the entirety of America, and the Union kept growing and growing as a superpower around the planet, and then inevitably all of the other countries that were primed against the United States of America decided, actually, okay, never mind, we are no longer acknowledging that, like, the Confederate States is the real America. We're now acknowledging and Texas being like the remainder Confederate state that like lost the war, basically was able to secede regardless, but was still laying claim to the entirety of America and maybe even fucking Canada. Okay. And then all of America's enemies around the world were saying, no, that's actually the real America. Texas is the real America. And then inevitably they were like, all right, never mind. We're reversing that. The Union is the real America. Texas is not the real America, but we're still going to keep giving Texas as many weapons as possible so they can maintain the Confederacy as like a stronghold against Union America, the United States of America, and constantly have that as a cudgel, constantly have that as wield the existence of the Confederate States, or the existence of Texas as a Confederate state to the existence of the United States of America.
So, Hasan, first of all, in this insane analogy, which of the two between Taiwan and China, which of these two states utilizes slave labor, and which of these two states commits genocides against minorities inside of their borders? Okay, the answer is China, not Taiwan. Okay, so I think it would be much more apt in the future if you want to do this comparison, if you make the CCP, the Confederacy in your analogy, okay? Because it's certainly not Taiwan. It's the fucking it's the fucking CCP that's equivalent to the Confederacy in this goofy analogy, okay? So to answer your question, Hutch, no. If Hasan Piker was the president, he would not defend Taiwan if China invaded them. Of course not, because he hates the West, he hates the United States, and he stands against anything that is pro-Western to the benefit of Western society, because he stands with China and Russia and Cuba and North Korea and Iran. That's who Hasan stands with, and Turkey, of course. So there's the answer to your question. You don't even need to hear from Hasan on this one because he's already said enough crazy shit that we can just go through and look. So there you go. You're welcome.
It's possible. It's possible. Just clear that up. Just answer that question. Don't bloviate for 5 minutes and give me a history lesson that no one gives a shit about. Just answer the question. Just be direct. Give me one concise sentence. What would you do? And then, you know, if you surprise me, maybe you can say that I have Hasan derangement syndrome. Anyways.
If we gave power to Hasan Piker, I'm the crazy one who's like, I don't know, what's Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes. No. Someone said yes.
That's Twitch chat. Everybody knows it.
This guy's like, I would rather vote for Jeffrey Epstein over any Republican. Then doubles down and says that he would rather vote for Jeffrey Epstein over me, and now is saying vote blue no matter who. Like, it turns out you just want to vote for Jeff.
I'm not saying that anymore. You don't listen. Don't vote blue. I don't care. I don't care. In fact, honestly, I think the 2020.
We don't want your fucking vote, buddy. Okay.
Vote blue. I don't care. I don't care. In fact, honestly, I think the 2028 nominee will net votes by distancing themselves from you. It would net us votes if you said that you don't support them. That's how I feel at this point, because they are gonna batter this man.
Yeah, that is objectively true. Like the further these candidates distance themselves from Hasan Piker, the better their chances of success. That's just a fact of like nature. It's a law of nature. You know, it's like death and taxes. It's an absolute certainty that is the case. Much like it's the case that moderates have a better chance at winning competitive general elections than extremist candidates do.
If you guys thought that we have already seen like a lot of clips on Fox News of Hasan Piker's greatest hits, you have no idea what's coming. Mm-mm. They are going to spend tens of millions of dollars in Michigan. They are going to blast Hasan Piker's greatest hits.
Oh, yeah.
And while I hope Abdul El-Sayed wins that race, because we need that Senate, really important. If he doesn't win, that is going to absolutely destroy Hasan Piker's like viability to get involved in politics again.
Oh yeah, and Hutch here, even though he doesn't agree with me, he's making my argument for why this might actually just be better if El-Sayed loses, because it will fucking destroy Hasan Piker's influence, politically, on the left, in the media, etc. And it really just might be the chemo to the cancer. Yeah, chemo is poison. It's bad for you. You would never do chemotherapy if you didn't have cancer, but the Democratic Party has cancer. So sometimes shit has to happen. Hard decisions have to be made. Gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I mean?
If Hasan Piker contributes to like the Democrats blowing a winnable race and then, God forbid, not winning control of the Senate, he is host, and it totally undermines that entire movement. And he knows that. He understands the stakes of this moment.
And again, the fact that he's even in this position where he has to take such an insane gamble really puts on display the lack of intellect that is being put into his strategical maneuvering.
He already knows what I'm saying. Like, I guarantee you he's feeling stressed about that. And, to be fair to him, I respect that he put his ass on the line like this. I do. I like 99% of it is self-aggrandizing, narcissistic nonsense. I'm sure deep down he probably gives himself credit for Abdul El-Sayed's win. Same with Mamdani.
Delusional.
But I do kind of respect, you know, he took a little bit of a risk here, you know, because like he might be,
It's not a risk, it's a gambit, right? Like he had no other fucking choice. I mean, I guess he could have went, years ago, I had the position that Hasan should just stop doing politics and just be a fucking IRL streamer. He was in with all the fucking Twitch royalty class, and he could have just been an IRL streamer and stayed out of politics, but no. He's a narcissist, and he wants to be like the commie MLK. That's how he fucking views himself. I'm not exaggerating. So that's his goal, I guess. And it's going to either be successful and then the country turns to fucking shit, or it's all going to end up in flames and he's going to torch his reputation, his career, his connections, everything. We'll see. At least it's finally coming to a head and we get to see the season finale of this guy's fucking career. Hopefully, please God.
Guys, and this is not entirely implausible. Hasan Piker might be, depending on how this plays out, single-handedly responsible for setting back his entire movement for, I don't know, a decade?
Oh, yeah.
If he this up, you know, if the Republicans actually like successfully use his greatest hits on Twitch and swing enough votes to prevent Abdul El-Sayed from winning, and they flip a blue seat to red because of him.
Oh, yeah.
That's not going to be great for him. That's
especially if it costs the Democrats control of the Senate. That is going to be crazy.
Going to be really not great for him.
All because this dude is so self-important that he just couldn't keep himself out of this shit, dude. It's crazy.
And I just want to reiterate, I will bet you $500. I would feel comfortable betting $500 that Abdul El-Sayed will end up condemning either Hasan or something that Hasan said in the next 2 weeks. We'll say 3 weeks. It's coming.
I better get a full condemnation of this guy, dude. I mean, Mamdani kind of did it. This is what Mamdani said when he was pressed about this last October.
And I find the comments that Hasan made on 9/11 to be objectionable and reprehensible. And I also think that part of the reason why Democrats are in the situation that we are in, of being a permanent minority in this country, is we are looking only to speak to journalists and streamers and Americans with whom we agree of every single thing that they say.
This is bullshit. You don't need to only speak to people you agree with. You can go on Hasan's stream. If you're a candidate, you can go on there. If you're a media person, you can have him on your show. No one's saying you can't do this. It just has to be adversarial. You have to ask him tough questions. Ask him why he thinks it's okay, why he thinks date rape is okay if it happens to a rich white woman. Ask him why he thinks that he would vote for Hamas over Israel. Ask him why he says he wouldn't vote for Gavin Newsom over J.D. Vance. Ask him why he live streams terrorist attacks while cheering them on. Ask him why he directs harassment campaigns against anyone critical of him ever. Like, these are the questions you should be asking, not, do you regret saying America deserved 9/11? Do you regret that? Come on, get a fucking grip, people.
It's coming. It's going to be an interview on CNN or, you know, like, he's going to get hammered so badly with Hasan Piker clips and campaign ads. He will have to condemn Hasan. Mark my words, just like Mamdani, and he will condemn him. Gonna happen.
Jeffrey Epstein, I guess. Like, if I was the Democratic candidate, it seems he would actually, if I was a Democratic candidate and Jeffrey Epstein, hypothetically, was alive, you know, famous pedophile Jeffrey Epstein was running as like an independent.
We all know who Jeffrey Epstein is.
Hutch would literally vote for Jeffrey Epstein. Well, at some point, we just got to realize, at some point, that just means you want to vote for Jeffrey Epstein. That's it. That's your preference.
Yes, that's what it means, yes.
Oh, yeah. That's what he's saying. Very good faith, Hutch. Or Hasan, I mean. Very good faith analysis there. Well done, buddy. You did it.
You're just pro Jeffrey.
Logically, that means, you know, like, I literally think...
No, you're just worse. You're just worse.
That Jeffrey Epstein would be my preferred... Obviously, that's what it means. How stupid is his audience, actually?
Very.
I knew it was bad, but...
They are knuckle-dragging morons. 100%. It's across the fucking board.
Holy...
Jeffrey Epstein, like pro voting for him. Maybe you're pro his platform, which I suspect is about lowering the age of consent. Like, I don't know what else Jeffrey Epstein is like really known for, is being an elite pedophile.
Elite.
So it's really
That's the
What does that mean? Elite pedophile? Like he's like the LeBron of molesting. Is that what that means?
point, though. That was my point. I have no idea what Jeffrey Epstein's politics were. Does anybody? He seems to be have been in bed with, like, he did not seem to discriminate when it came to politics.
Nope.
really funny that he's like, actually vote blue no matter who. It doesn't work anymore. Sorry, it doesn't work for me anymore.
Epstein's policy position.
Epstein was in with Richard Wolff. He was in with Steve Bannon. He was in with Donald Trump. He was in with everybody. He didn't give a fuck.
When he glorifies the current Chinese Communist Party as like a model of government, I'm the crazy one. Somebody who idolizes Vladimir Lenin, and I'm the crazy one because I don't.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. It entirely preys upon people not being read up or studied on these topics, by the way. If people were actually informed on like the outcomes of Vladimir Lenin, of Mao Zedong, of Joseph Stalin, they if people were had a strong understanding of the absolute tragedy and violence and mass starvations that these people brought about through their policies, people would not even hesitate to condemn this shit. It's just because people don't know. People are clueless about history. Americans are fucking stupid. It is what it is. You just got to let them know. Let them know about the Holodomor. Let them know about the 40 million deaths during the Great Leap Forward and how Hasan constantly sweeps for it and justifies it. You know?
don't want to live under an authoritarian leftist regime.
Well, when you think about it, every government is authoritarian, you know? When you think about it, like traffic laws are, he's going to do.
When you think about it, that's like every position Hasan has. It's like he just hit the blizzy, dude.
One of those things.
Hutch is a single issue voter. He's pro Jeffrey Epstein.
Buddy, listen.
Oh, that's so
Very
funny.
good faith.
Listen.
Oh,
Listen. I understand.
Hutch is pro Jeffrey Epstein. Oh.
Dan, listen, I get it. We should be sympathetic. He's feeling the heat right now. He's feeling the heat.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's taking it out on me. Hurt people, as Abdul El-Sayed once said about a literal terrorist attack.
Yep.
Hurt people, okay? And he's hurting right now. He's got lefties up and down the timeline saying that Abdul El-Sayed should like pivot away from Hasan. It's not just Vosh. There are like multiple like far lefties.
In my opinion, Vosh's opinion is completely fucking worthless now that he's leaving the country. He's not one of us anymore. Opinion disregarded. Go fuck yourself, buddy. You left the fucking country. You're not allowed to talk about our politics anymore. Minecraft. Do it.
He's on Twitter saying like Abdul needs to get the away from Hasan because enough of them are smart enough to understand like, oh my God, he actually has a chance of, you know, they don't want to up. And so, you know, he's feeling marginalized in that way. He knows that Abdul El-Sayed is already being inundated with campaign ads trying to tie him to Hasan, and Hasan's like most extreme rhetoric.
Speaking of which, I wanted to give a little watch. This is the new Mike Rogers campaign ad attacking Abdul El-Sayed, the Michigan Senate candidate for the Democrats, for some fucking some fucked up dark timeline reason. This is the Republican attack ad against that guy.
I'm not here to disavow people's views.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
When I was in college, I took a terrorism class.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
I'm not here to disavow people's views.
You know, I am in support of abolishing ICE.
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach them.
Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude.
The people who listen to Hasan are engaging in faith. They want a way forward into our politics. I'm not here to disavow.
So yeah, the strategy of aligning yourself with an unironic terrorist supporter when your name is Abdul El-Sayed and you're trying to get a Senate seat, a crucial Senate seat in Michigan, not great. And he should distance himself from this fucking clown as soon as possible. Okay? That's pretty much it. We're pretty much at the end of the video. If you enjoyed, once again, please consider liking and subscribing, because doing this shit is so doomer-pilled and so fucking draining. Like, Jesus Christ. Watching these people try and destroy my country from every fucking angle is just so black-pilling. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mickey Morant, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.